of debaters for the round of 16 are comfortably seated in the studio already with us. Abuja, I'm sure you're ready for them to thrill you with their argument. My name is Kimberly. I'm your moderator.
And I am Itodo, the timekeeper. We have our debaters right here with us. We look forward to hearing what your points are. You have papers in front of you. You'd open
All right, so they have their paper in front of them. Just to quickly recognize Hamza Lawa, Connected Development, Follow the Money as a sponsor for I Beg to Differ Season 2, 313 Bureau de Change, also supporting us, Happiness Computers, Kolia Angel Nigeria Limited, also supporting us big time. And we have Creative Fingers, Cakes and Bite, Life Camp Abuja, supporting Season 2 of I Beg to Differ. Let's not forget Number One Hotel as our partner, and 3J's Hotel and Apartment making a comeback for Season 2. They gave us so much support in the first season, and they are back again. Our judges are Majid Dahiru, is a researcher, columnist, tech team lead of Luxterra Leadership Foundation. Irene Bangwell is the co-founder of NOSC 100 Naira a Day School in Kuje. And Fidel Castro, our senior editor here. We have in the team the billionaire, Somi, Joy, and I am Kimberly.
Yes, let's get right into it. Let's know what side you're on.
I support the motion.
What's your name?
Anthony OLUWADAMILOLA.
I beg to differ.
What's your name, sir?
RICHMORAH, OBINNA.
All right, so we have Anthony OLUWADAMILOLA Favor, 15-year-old from Government Science Secondary School, Piakasa Maitama, supporting the motion that corruption is the biggest obstacle to stable electricity in Nigeria. King RICHMORAH, OBINNA, 13-year-old from El Baraka Intellectual Academy, begs to differ. Are we right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, then. So we're going to start all rounds with Anthony OLUWADAMILOLA Favor. Favor?
Yes, ma'am.
Your time starts now.
This is Nigeria, where we have a driving force and a catchphrase. Oh, NEPA. Richmond, bring the torchlight, and boom, up NEPA. With this, I bid a good day to my lovely judges, beautiful moderator, accurate timekeeper, and our amazing audience. My name is Anthony OLUWADAMILOLA of the renowned Government Science Secondary School, Maitam, and today I stand to support the motion that says corruption is the biggest obstacle to stable electricity in Nigeria. With the following points I start to argue. Firstly, corruption diverts funds for power projects. From the year 1999 to 2007, Nigeria spent over 16 billion naira on the power project, but yet, guess what? We still remain in darkness. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo called this a colossal waste of time, and after that, cited it on the widespread of corruption and mismanagement. Moving on to ghosted workers and payroll fraud. Do you know that we have spent over 10 billion naira on these so-called people that we don't know where they work? That is unimaginable. Moving on to inflated contracts and kickbacks. Nigeria has said to have been awarding contracts to shady deals of people that makes us think that we are doing something great, whereas we are not. Take, for instance, the REA, Rural Electricity Agency, was found to be in a scandal in the year 2021 of a 1.2 billion naira scandal that took away most of our management properties. Moving on to poor maintenance. Nigeria lost over 40% of its interest over the point of getting poor infrastructural materials and equipment that didn't take them anywhere. Now, I will mention our renewable electricity source. This is a lost systematic opportunity. Do you know that Nigeria has enough power and solar wind energy to power the continent for millions of years? But yet, we only produce 1% of our renewables, and this is highly degrading. Whereas when we could have used it to create our light system and produce stable electricity, Nigeria is focusing on buying and borrowing funds, which doesn't take us anywhere. Moving on to maintenance neglect. Nigeria's system has everything they have in their capacity to maintain their system, but due to poor visionary skills, lack of government approval, and corruption, Nigeria has been built in a pace whereby we do not even know what we're doing anymore. We focus on taking money, grabbing this, taking that, due to greed and needs. We do not know what we are focusing on. Maintenance neglect. This is the fact that we do not even know what we're managing anymore. Technical commercial losses. Do you know that Nigeria has lost up to 40% to buy internal revenue that we can already gain through our own renewable sources? But we buy internal revenue from outside countries and lose 40% due to technical commercial buy here and there, go move forward and backward. It also I also want to make the comparison of countries. Nigeria can be compared. That in a case whereby our population explosion matching our own structure of standards. Nigeria has a population of 220 million people, but yet we still produce a pitiful 4,000 to 5,000 megawatts of energy supply. And not like the point is that the government doesn't know all these things. The government knows, but the government rather diverts funds, siphon funds into their own personal pockets rather than save the country of this infrastructural deficit. This is a corruption myth, not lack of implementation. Moving on to policy instability. You are forgetting that this 2013 Privatization Act is a sham. The 2005 Act was a joke. Implementation, yes, we say we blame it on lack of implementation, but rather I blame it on corruption. This was mismanagement on the point of the government. Thank you.
It's all talk.
Wherever the government is feeling pressured right now. All right, so we've heard from Anthony OLUWADAMILOLA FAVOUR, who supports the motion that indeed corruption is the biggest obstacle to stable electricity in Nigeria. And that's our opening. King RICHMORAH, OBINNA, are you ready for your opening?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
And your time starts now.
Picture yourself waking up in the morning sweating because NEPA or now disco refuses to bring light. You tried your hand to get your phone to check the time, but it's already dead because there was no light to charge it. Your fan stand still mocking you. Your generator fumes angry, consuming the last drop of expensive for. We all know the struggle, but let me tell you, corruption alone did not create it. I would like to use this opportunity to thank the chairman, Accurate Timekeeper, esteemed judges, and my lovely audience. I'm tomorrow OBINNA from El Baraka Intellectual Academy in Madala, Suleja, Niger State. I stand before you to passionately oppose the motion that corruption is the biggest obstacle to stable electricity in Nigeria. Firstly, Nigeria suffers from inadequate infrastructure and power generation capacity. The Nigerian electricity demand far exceed its supply. This Nigeria generates over 4,000 to 5,000 megawatts of electricity monthly to over 200 million people, while Qatar, a country of over 3 million, generates 11,000 megawatts of electricity monthly. The current transmission is outdated and arcane. Without major investment in the sector, stability will remain a challenge regardless of corruption levels. Furthermore, low gas supply and pipeline vandalism often worsens electricity supply in Nigeria. About 80% of Nigeria power plants depend on gas. This is from the Nigeria Electricity Distribution Company database. No matter how honest the government is, Nigeria cannot. Power plants cannot generate electricity without a constant fuel supply. In addition, poor maintenance in the sector. Poor maintenance in the sector, even when the infrastructure is built, often lead to its breakdown. And the power plant, distribution lines, and transformers often fail due to neglect. I am well convinced that a corrupt but well-maintained system will still be manageable than a government abandoned but poorly maintained one. With this, I end my presentation, and we'll shed more light later since NEPA won't do it for us. Thanks.
Okay.
We know that line that one use it to somebody. You said more light in them.
All right, let's get to your next round.
All right, we'll get to the rebuttal now. And seeing that Anthony OLUWADAMILOLA FAVOUR supports the motion, FAVOUR, you start a rebuttal round.
Your time starts now.
Still standing on existing protocols, I remain Anthony OLUWADAMILOLA of the renowned Government Science Secondary School, Maitama. And now, to my dear opponent, I love your energy, but let's channel that into a more compelling point. You made mention of low gas supply and pipeline vandalization. Do you know that this is due to lack of infrastructural capacities from the government? If you had known that the government, all the funding that was made and lost during that period of 1999 to 2007, that $16 billion that whizzed into thin air, if it was diverted into what it was meant to be, do you know that we would have had higher gas supplies and this pipeline vandalism would have been combated long time ago? You also mentioned poor maintenance. Repeating for emphasis. What still happened to that 16 billion naira that whizzed, that missed, that disappeared into thin air under the government? Had it been this government made mention or took note of this 16 billion naira, or used the 1.2 billion naira that was taken by the REA, or took the 10 billion naira that was spent on the power sector infrastructural deficits in the year 2021, what happened to those funds? If they were used for the right purposes, my dear brother, you won't have to be asking me what happened to the light, that's whether he's bringing it now or not. Dear Richmond, you also made mention of the fact that our NEPA system is due to infrastructural deficit, not corruption. Infrastructural deficit. What is the solution to this infrastructural deficit? You are forgetting the fact that it's funds and budgeting of the government. If the government did not decide to siphon money, play on the part that I do not care, meet my own needs of my own pocket, and produce and make Nigeria a better place, do you think that would have been here to having this debate in the first place? No. Rather, you stood and said it was due to infrastructural deficit. Under the infrastructural deficit, which is also under corruption. This is just like a subtopic under the corruption that we are talking about. Corruption is a wide-based spread, and all of your points are baseless because all of them are attributed under corruption. If the government paid more attention to each and every of these things you have said, my brother, RICHMORAH, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Now, as I feel like I've exhausted all of your points, I would like to continue with mine. Now, corruption diverted funds. Corruption takes funds away from our own pocket due to poor tariff systems that they claim, meter billing, and wrong application of funding. Do you also know that in the year 2023, World Bank record has it that over less than 50% people are still using estimated billing counting machines when they have meters, because officials would rather collect bribes rather than fix this meter for these people that we are calling Nigerians, your own so-called people, your own country, your own citizens. This is basically corruption. Thank you.
All right, the clock interrupted. I felt like at least it was long, but good thing you're done with the rebuttal before you got to your own point. Let's find out from King RICHMORAH OBINNA from El Baraka Intellectual Academy how he intends to counter in the rebuttal.
Your time starts now.
I still RICHMORAH OBINNA from El Baraka Intellectual Academy in Madala, Suleja, Niger State. You see, my opponent, I love your energy, but I think it can be reciprocated. And I can add more fire to the fire you already started by saying that you stated that corruption divert funds for power products. Have you forgotten that Nigeria has spent over 5.2 billion on power projects, and you said they have been diverted? They have been diverted. Yes, we know they have been diverted or embezzled or different challenges, but those funds actually helped in improving the project. You also mentioned poor maintenance. This poor maintenance you actually mentioned now was that check like a country. Place like Qatar, which generate 4,000 to 5,000 megawatt of electricity. Do you want to tell me that they don't have poor maintenance, or they actually take care of their they actually take care of their electricity? No, you can't say that. We also mentioned maintenance neglect. Maintenance neglect. Yes, we know there is maintenance neglect in the electricity level. There is maintenance neglect, but Nigerians still provide electricity that is enough to power your food, to charge your phone, make electricity, print files, and do other things. You also made comparison of countries. So you said comparison of countries. You cannot compare Nigeria with other countries because Nigeria has spent over 16 billion naira on power projects. Like you said, you just shot yourself on the foot. I've exhausted all your points, and I will move to mine. I made mention of inadequate infrastructure and poor generation capacity, and you said I made mention of infrastructure qualification, and that is not what I make mention of. I made mention of inadequate infrastructure and power generation capacity, which is Nigerian generate 4,000 to 5,000 megawatts of electricity monthly for us. So you are defenseless to say that Nigerian does to compare Nigerians with other country. Low gas supply and pipeline vandalism. I also made mention of low gas supply and pipeline vandalism. Pipeline vandalism often leads to low gas supply and electricity in Nigeria because of theft and other criminal activities. There is pipeline vandalism, which leads to low gas supply. Not like the government is not trying; they are trying their best. And I also mentioned lack of accountability in power distribution and privatization. Lack of accountability. I also mentioned lack of accountability. Nigeria.
Felt almost like you were saved by the bell at that point. King RICHMORAH OBINNA there. He's giving us his rebuttal, and we are now getting to hear their closing argument. Don't forget, a lot of factor comes into play from the points they make, their clarity, their diction, their style, their confidence. All of these sums up how the maths come to at the end of the day. So, ladies and gentlemen, Abuja, are you ready to hear their closing argument? You know when you're watching Mortal Kombat and it says, finish them.
All right, the time starts now.
Still standing on existing protocols, I remain Anthony OLUWADAMILOLA FAVOUR, renowned government science secondary school Maitama. To my dear opponents, now, decibels doesn't mean facts. Corruption, I would like to address some things before we come to the brink of this debate. You made mention of the fact that Nigeria has spent over 16 billion. That was wrong. I said we have lost 16 billion due to funding of power projects. And if all this happens, yet we don't have light. You said Qatar does have poor maintenance, but at the same time, they have good governance and rating system. And with all this, my dear opponent, you have no substantial evidence that makes your facts baseless. Now, with this, I've come to the end of my debate. Corruption is a formidable barrier. Viscous is a bleeding candle of choking lies and turning people onto the thorns of candles and torchlights, making you to not understand what you are doing. But as long as you know that corruption is the main head, it's more like a hydra with 10 heads. Do you know what a hydra is, science students? That is a fact for you to learn. Hydra with 10 heads, ranging from the overpopulation to the overspending, lack of maintenance of your government, to the lack of I don't care lifestyle, to whatever you are doing. Corruption can be said to be the main head, the main topic sentence. Once you can kill the head of the disease, you have solved your problem. Thank you.
All right, there you have it from Anthony OLUWADAMILOLA FAVOUR, her closing argument supporting the motion that corruption is the biggest obstacle to stable electricity in Nigeria. We now all turn to the king himself, RICHMORAH OBINNA from El Baraka Intellectual Academy.
And your time starts now.
I'm standing on the existing protocol. I still remain King RICHMORAH OBINNA from El Baraka Intellectual Academy in Madala, Suleja, Niger State. You actually made mention that I said that 16 billions have been diverted to have been spent on electricity development in Nigeria. I actually was basing on my point, not your point. So you shot yourself on the foot. Now, going out. So you actually said we cannot compare that Qatar also have poor maintenance, but they still supply light. But even Nigerians also supply light in your houses. Can you stay for 5 days without having light? No. Now we are moving on to, you said I am defenseless. I'm defenseless with my point that 16 billions have been spent. So I want to show you that I'm not defenseless with my point. 16 billions have been spent on power projects, but they have been diverted to other, they have been diverted or embezzled by the government. So moving on to the conclusion, and I leave you defenseless. Moving on to the conclusion. Ladies and gentlemen, let us face reality. Corruption may be a problem, but it is not the biggest obstacle to stable electricity in Nigeria. If it was, removing corrupt leaders would have led to increase in electricity sector in Nigeria. But has it? No, it has not. Thank you.
All right, there you have it. They've done their presentation, their rebuttal, and we've heard their closing argument for their motion. Corruption is the biggest obstacle to stable electricity in Nigeria. We now turn to our Dixon judge. Anything you observed?
Yes, indeed, it was a heated one. I can still feel the heat. OLUWADAMILOLA, well done.
Ma'am.
So you did not use your TH sound. You did not use your TH sound. You kept misusing. You kept rather ignoring them. You didn't say this and that. You didn't say things and something. Your word is basically that word. Basically and not basically. The S there sounds S and not Z. Basically is the word. And then opponent. You called RICHMORAH your opponent. That word is opponent. And so in total, you scored 2 over 3. Well done. RICHMORAH. So the word is monthly, not monthly. Monthly. And then you have presentation and not presentation, or however you said that. Presentation. Challenges is the word. Challenges. Problem. The O sound. Problem and not problem. You have vandalism. So when a word ends with ISM, you don't go saying you use the root word and just add the ISM. So vandalism, and not vandalism, okay? Sector, development. That word is development and not development. Then your TH words as well, you mispronounced them a lot. So in total, you scored 2 as well. 2 over 3 on both ends.
On both ends. All right, so the diction judge has called each of them 2 over 3, and we'll wait for the final outcome from our judges as they put the numbers together. Meanwhile, let's look at what you're saying. Are you voting already on X? Let's see the numbers build on X. Let's see if it agrees with what the judges bring out at the end of the day.
All right, looking at some of the comments on the live feed right now. These are future leaders shedding more light on the epileptic power supply in the country. Corruption has caused a lot of harm than good in this nation. The kids are smart and wonderful is what Peter O'Day on YouTube says. And Gumpale Solomon says, as you guys were debating on NEPA, they took power. Wow, sorry about that. Hope it comes back in good time for you. I love the subtopic section of corruption is what Eze Christopher shares as his thoughts. All right. And very vocal and outspoken. I like the confidence. Thumbs up Nigeria in for Abuja. What an introduction by these young champs. Nice one is what Adebare Awodoye shares.
All right, and on WhatsApp it says, wow, here comes the fire of the debate. There's two eloquent debaters paired together. Sadly, one of them has to go. Kudos to both debaters. Regardless, you both had a wonderful time. Keep it up. Right from Gary Key's take there. Nigeria can survive without foreign loan. Gideon C. from Gwarimpa, from Gwagwalada. Oh yeah, defend it now. You start to stutter, but I believe you can. Yes, the corruption is the reason why we remain in darkness. Gideon C. from Gwagwalada sent that one in. Jay from Gary Key said, please note, let them limit the use of my dear colleague. They should be formal. Don't set rules up and down. Now we're giving them those we're giving them. Be nice. They should learn to transition from their rebuttal to the other point without saying, I've exhausted all of your point. I will continue with my other point. They should learn to buttress each point with empirical evidence instead of saying all the money found is way into someone's pocket. It should be, we lost $16 million to corrupt officials as reported by the Daily Trust Nigeria newspaper of January 10, 2024 by EFCC report. All these, you shot yourself in the foot, etc. Jay from Gariki is doing his research work. You need to make it easy for him. Give him facts. Point him to
the right direction.
To the referrer.
All right.
So that his professor will not say, referrer, my guy. Where did you get this fact from? All right, Ngozi from Apo says, now this is the real deal. Thank you, Nigeria Info. I love these debaters with my heart. They are good.
And the gospel says, on a lighter note, I have been hearing a lot of shots and even shot on the foot. Please, you guys should stay safe. I'm enjoying this because I feel like debating with them because I'm in the band A.
Would you survive it? Well, if we threw you in the ring?
Well.
Oh boy. Sukre from CBD says, oh boy, the energy, the punch lines, the zeal at which the last debaters spit out their point is fire. I'm not even jealous of you guys right now because we can't tell them apart. How do you determine the winner here? They are best so far in the edition. Says, oh boy. Well, leave it to the judges that we have. That's why we have competent hands. And I tell you, there are a lot of things they're looking at. Perhaps that's why it's taking too much time to bring the figures up together.
But you can actually rush to the X platform to vote as well. It's at Nigeria Info ABJ on X, what you used to call Twitter back in the day. We have a poll running there. You can go on there to click who you think should proceed, who impressed you enough, and we'll see if that is enough to add to their score and make them move to the next round.
So this guy from the school name that gave Kim tough time to pronounce last time is back. I can't wait to hear from him. Well, you heard from him, Adebara Ode and El Baraka. I mean, someone called after the debate was done and said, Kim, put some respect on the name. He'll be back. I'm like, all right, I hear you good. Okie dokie. So let's see. This is brilliant from both debaters. I'm grinning and mola to mola with goosebumps. True leaders of tomorrow. Haviz from Golden Spring Estate sent that one in. All right, so I've been told we need to go on a very quick break. Suspense, special effect. The commercial will count as special effect, and then we'll return with the final result. Stay with us.
At your number one talk, news and sports station. This is Nigeria Info.
Aisha, wetin you dey carry all this cowbell thing and sachets dem dey do?
Now wetin I wan share give people this Ramadan.
My sister, kuku start with me now.
Oh yeah, take it. Na Ramadan with this so. For this holy month, share ogbonge cowbell with all your family and friend dem. Cowbell get vitamin B9, Vita-Rich, and it is so creamy, so good.
Ramadan Kareem.
Cowbell of creamy goodness.
Make I ask you the last question. Among the options where I go give you, choose the one where they give better gaming experience where person no fit forget. A, to use your data they watch match early momo. B, they listen to your uncle where be your ogbonge sports guru. C, Betano. The correct answer na Betano. You go tell yourself, if you join the Pata betting platform for inside Nigeria, we get different betting options, fast cash out, missions where they engage you, data features, and we go welcome you with bonus of 200,000 naira. Betano, the game don't start. Bet responsibly. Only for people who don't pass 18 years. Betano na proud partner of Aston Villa.
Life is always full of wahala, but there is music, passion, feelings, and good vibes. Make a ride with InDrive app to get there on your own terms. You decide what your life will be full of and choose a fair price for this ride. InDrive, the InDrive online passenger transportation aggregator, is not a taxi service. Find more information at www.indrive.com.
Lokacin jin daɗi sai Kivo Krima.
Idan na sha ko lokacin shan gari. Sai Kivo.
Ụmụ Naịjirịa, nchekwa obodo anyị dịkwa anyị n'aka. Sayepụ anya gị, ọ bụrụ na ihe na-enyo enyo, ma onye ndị iche na-agagharịnụ, ma ụgbọala mpụrụ iche, ma ọ bụ ihe mmemme na-edo gị anya, kpọọ ụgbọ mmụọ ntụ ozugbo ka anyị gbakọta aka n'ihi nchekwa obodo anyị maka ezinụlọ anyị ma gbasakwara onwe anyị. Kpọọ ụgbọ mmụọ ntụ ka anyị na-echekwa obodo anyị.
My kids love tasty snacks, but many snacks are not so good for them. That's why I love the new Milo Anna snacks.
We love it, Mom.
Yes, it's a delicious snack with the goodness of malt, milk, cocoa, and crunchy Niger grown maize, containing calcium, iron, and fiber.
So, pack Milo and snacks in their lunchbox every day to help your kids refuel at break time and keep winning all day. Milo, energy to go further.
Milo! Welcome back to your number one talk, news, and sports station. This is Nigeria Info.
And now we are back on I Beg to Differ.
Alrighty, Omo, these kids are wonderful. May grace continue to speak for them, Joe. Phil Money, comedian from Port Harcourt, sent that when he's listening online. It says, Kim and the Dickon, the students are highly intelligent with the debate. I thank the organizers of the debate. Keep it up. Zach from Etihad Stadium in Kuchikau. All right, so the results are in from the judges and returned successfully to us. Who supported the motion?
Me.
Anthony Oluwadamilola
Yes,
Favor.
ma'am.
So we're going to start with you then. So for your style of presentation, your aggregate score is a 9. In your rebuttal, your aggregate score is a 9. Your closing argument, you got an 8. Your style, the first one is presentation. Your style is a 22. Your diction plus 2, it gives you a 50. King RICHMORAH OBINNA, who begged to differ from El Baraka Intellectual Academy. For your presentation, you got an 8. In your rebuttal, it's a 4. In your closing, you got a 6. Your style of presentation, you got a 19. Your diction, 2. In total, you got 39. Yeah, he got it. He gave me that look like, uh-oh. Yeah, these things happen. So, round of 16, second set, done and dusted. Anthony Oluwadamilola Favor from Government Science Secondary School, Pierre Kasa Maitama, will proceed to the round of 8. Congratulations to you. And King RICHMORAH OBINNA, well, it looks at this point like it's the end of the road for you with your 39. But we say you put up a good fight, and we appreciate that. Well done. You want to say something? Oh, okay.
You're good? Okay.
You're good. You're good. Everybody's good. All right. You know why I say that at this point? Because we do grading. The ones who skills king, and then you look at grading. But I'm sure they're all going to pack fire for the sets that are coming. We saw it from the first set of the debaters for round of 16, and we're seeing it with this one. You put up a good fight, and we look forward to seeing more of you in subsequent debate also. So thank you so much to all our sponsors. Hamzat Lawal of Connected Development, 313 Bureau de Change, to Kolia Angel Nigeria Limited, to Happiness Computers, and to Number One Hotel, 3J's Hotels and Apartment, and Creative
Creative fingers, cakes, and bites in life count.
If Senior Sholakwe is listening, I'm like, hey, you forgot that one. I did not forget. Thank you very much to all our judges, Majid Dahiru, Irene Bangwell, Fidel Castro, and to the team. Oh, our Dixon George, Olivia Osai, thank you very much to the team of the I Beg to Differ debate, the billionaire Sahel Somi, Joy Eberebe. Benga. Oh boy, he's been all over the place and extremely busy putting up the polls and all of that. We'll say a very big thank you. We'll do this again tomorrow, 3 p.m. My name is Kimberly.
And I am Itodo.
Nigeria Info's I Beg to Differ student debate tournament